What's the cause of addiction?
The major cause of severe substance addiction is always childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma?
Yeah, not just according to my experience, and my experience is that I don't have anybody in the downtown east side of Vancouver where I work who wasn't abused as a child, and all the women were sexually abused specifically. But also according to all the research, that the more adverse childhood experiences a person has, the exponentially greater the likelihood of substance abuse later on.
So those who say it's all hereditary, you say what?
That's nonsense.
Nonsense?
Yeah, yeah. Genes may have some predisposing role, but predispositions are not the same as predeterminations. And we now know that genes are actually turned on and off by the environment. There was a study a couple of weeks ago that came out that showed that even people who have a predisposition to addiction genetically, that gene is turned off if they receive good nurturing parenting.
But we hear all the time, if your dad was an alcoholic, chances are you will be too.
Sure, and under what conditions do you grow up if your father was an alcoholic? And even if you were adopted, you still had stressful experiences because your mother was stressed for 9 months. And we already know that stress on a pregnant woman has an impact on the child's development and on the child's stress levels.
Even if you had a blessed childhood, but you've had some extraordinary thing happen to you as an adult, you can get addicted as well, can you not?
Highly unlikely. What we know about the human brain now is that it's actually shaped by the early environment. Nobody who had a blessed childhood becomes an addict. Some people think they had a blessed childhood, but that's only because they haven't looked at what actually didn't work in their childhoods.
Some people have terrible life experiences and they do not become addicted to drugs. Other people do overcome their addictions, despite the fact they have terrible childhoods. So where does willpower factor into all of this?
Willpower is a difficult question to discern because if you actually look at the circuits in the brain that make conscious decisions, they're very weak. And they're much dominated by our impulses, which come from deeper brain centers. And the gap between an impulse and a decision is only a split second. Other people may have had terrible experiences, but they may have had an opportunity to process it. Maybe there was a sympathetic witness in their lives with whom they could share and at least emotionally resolve the trauma. Then they don't need to become addicts. But the people overwhelmingly who become severe substance users are people that were traumatized early and had nobody there to help them process the experience.